think I'm going. Alrighty, so here we are for Writer Unedited number 38. Wow, it's a lot. Just me sitting here at my writer's desk. Nothing fancy except fake tulips and my silly editor hat. Ah, somebody's here! Yay! Who are you? Whoever you are, please say hi in the comments so I know who I'm talking to. Because Facebook doesn't tell me your name unless you comment. So comment, please. So if you have any questions or comments, please type them in the comment section and I will try and answer them. And what else? Yeah, you can see previous Facebook Lives on my YouTube channel. And I will put the link in the comments. Ooh, 2 people. Yay, it's getting good. So, who watched the Kentucky Derby? Okay, I didn't watch it. I watched the replay. Sorry, it's a terrible thing to admit to. My horse, Stronghold, came in 7th, which is actually pretty respectable. He was even making a showing at the beginning of the race, but he did not win. Jennifer! Hey, Jen! How are you? So good to see you here. I'm glad you're taking a break from working on the Heartbeat. Jen is the editor of the New Jersey Romance Writers Heartbeat newsletter. She does a terrific job. Rebecca! I know, great hat, right? I'll explain to you why I'm wearing it in a second. My homemade hat band. So good to see you guys. Thank you for stopping in. So back to the Kentucky Derby. So that was pretty exciting with that triple photo finish. Although I have to say, you look at the photograph and Mystic Dan definitely was just like tiny bit ahead, not just with his nose either. His haunches were a little ahead. Yes, I look at stuff like that. So, interesting facts about the Kentucky Derby. Did you know that 125,000 mint juleps are consumed over the 2 days of racing at Churchill Downs? It's a lot of bourbon. And it takes 400 flowers to make the rose drape that they hang over the horse, the winner of the Derby, for the Run for the Roses, of course. 400, that's a lot of flowers. And they make it the night before and sort of through the night, so they're all nice and fresh. So I'm going to announce this every single live until it comes out, and that is that Royal Caleva Luis is up for pre-order at a special price of $2.99 on Kindle, and I will be donating a portion of the pre-order royalties and the first week's sales to animal rescue organizations. And my newsletter subscribers will get to vote on which ones in my main newsletter. So make sure you subscribe or just keep an eye out for the newsletter. Jennifer Schmidt says, yes, a lot of mint too. Yeah, no kidding, right? I wonder where they get it all. What else? So I am doing a rare in-person appearance at the North Bergen Free Public Library on May 21st at 5 p.m. I will be there with 4 other wonderful romance writers, and it will be an exploration of the romance genre, talking about sort of the rewards and challenges of writing romance, and also what a broad genre it is and how many offerings there are for any kind of reader. So come and see us. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll be selling books too. And what else? Okay, so good news about Gabrielle. Gabrielle is a finalist in the American Legacy Book Awards. Woohoo! Go Gabrielle. Which I'm very proud of. It's always good to be honored in an award. So I'm wearing my editor hat because Royal Caleva Luis came back from the proofreader last night with all the proofreading marks on it. I haven't looked at it yet because it's been a crazy busy day, but I will be editing again, and I have to go through the whole manuscript and look at all her markups and decide whether I agree or disagree. Confession, I almost always agree, particularly if it's about commas. I'm just like, she knows more about commas than I do. So that will be a long process. Not as long as copy edits, but still editing. Hey, Patricia's here. Hi, Patricia. Thank you for the congratulations. I'm very happy about that. The advanced reading copies for Royal Caleva Luis went out to my review crew over the weekend. And I hope, Patricia, you don't mind my saying this, but Patricia very nicely sent me a message telling me how much she loved the book. And that obviously just brought joy to my heart. both because she loved it and because she read it so fast. I love that level of enthusiasm. So thank you so much, Patricia. I needed that because it's always scary to send your book out into the world. And that's its first journey out into the world is to my to my review crew. So thanks, Patricia. Okay, so I'm working on Raoul's book, of course, as I've mentioned before. And last week, I was doing rock climbing research, which was terrifying. This week, I am doing Komodo dragon research because dragons are going to be, my Kalevan dragons are going to be a plot feature. After all, Raoul's last name is Dragon. And I don't know if you all have seen the royal coat of arms, but this is the coat of arms for the king's family. And you see the dragon on it? So that's a Kalevan dragon. Pretty cool, huh? Kalevan dragons are modeled actually on these little frilled lizards, which are actually tiny. He's not very big, but he's cute. And he looks very fierce, doesn't he? So, the thing is, the Kalevan dragons are big, and I decided that I needed to try and make them as believable as possible. And the only other really giant lizards that still hang around on Earth these days are the Komodo dragons. And as Jen says, their bite is no joke. It's true. It's true. But they're meat eaters. They're meat eaters. They have a very venomous bite, but they almost never attack humans, and when they do, it's always defensively, pretty much. But my Kalevan dragons, I made them vegetarians, and I made them vegetarians back in, I forget whether you know that in Gabrielle's book, but you definitely find that in Luisa's book. And so they're more peaceable than Komodo dragons as far as their food goes. But both kinds of dragons are endangered because humans have hunted them and have also encroached on their environment. So they share that. And I'm definitely going to model the reproductive habits of Komodo dragons, model the reproductive habits of Kalevan dragons on the Komodo dragons because they're interesting. They mate. And then the female digs a very deep nest in soil, and she lays up to 30 eggs in a clutch. She only does this once a year, and they have kind of leathery shells, kind of what you would imagine, like turtle eggs or, anything like that. They hatch after anywhere between 2.5 and 8 months. I feel like that's a really wide spread for hatching. But it evidently depends on the weather conditions and the soil conditions. All right, I'm taking my editor hat off. It's warm here. I'm getting sweaty. So anyway, I think my Kalevan dragons will incubate faster than that. It's a lot. It's quick. Oh, my hair's sticking too. Paula's here. Hi, Paula. Sorry to interrupt, but I like saying hi to people. Paula's here. So the eggs hatch, and the baby Komodo dragons are very tiny, like 2 inches long when they hatch, and so they don't want to get eaten by predators or by their dads. Evidently, Komodo dragons will eat their own young if they find them. So the little baby Komodo dragons climb up into the trees and hang out there for the first year of their lives. So that's probably what my Kalevan dragons will do too. The one weird quirk about Komodo dragons that they've discovered is that they sometimes reproduce via parthenogenesis, which means the female will lay viable eggs without having a male to mate with. And they think this is probably because they developed on isolated islands, and sometimes the Komodo dragons would swim between islands or get washed between islands. They're not really sure which. Turns out Komodo dragons are very strong swimmers, so my Kalevan dragons probably will be too. But so they'd swim to another island, and there wouldn't be a male to mate with, so they would produce their own eggs, their own babies, all of which would be male. Obviously, that would create a fair amount of inbreeding, but I guess it worked to bring a population to a new island. And, that may or may not become a plot point. You never know about this stuff. What else did I find out? Female Komodo dragons weigh about 150 pounds and live about 20 years, and male Komodo dragons weigh 200 pounds and live about 30 years, which just proves that being a mother is exhausting. Um, and I mentioned that they are strong swimmers, so that might become a plot point too. You just never know. All these things, swirl around my head. In fact, this is why I love being a writer, because I get to research all these weird topics, and I love learning stuff like this. So, I was researching rock climbing, which actually, as I said last week, kind of terrified me. Komodo dragons, not so much, because I know I'm never going to be anywhere near a Komodo dragon, although I really would want to be bitten by one. But I get to do this fun research, and it's work. I get to count it as part of my job. What could be better? I love that. So, yes, sale books all this month. Just to remind you, my publisher picks the books that go on sale, and this month all of the Second Glances books are on sale. So both novels and the novella, which is only digital, which is why I have it in this weird binding. And they're at various prices on Kindle. They're all different, so I can't remember. And then for some reason, the second and third book in the consultant series is on sale on Kindle this month. And the third book in the Whisper Horse series is on sale on Kindle this month. So grab them while they're cheap. I'm sure they will put the first books on sale at some point in the near future. And that's really about it for me. Does anybody have a question or anything? Want to ask questions about Komodo dragons? There's probably more I could tell you. Nope. Let's see. Looks like Jennifer clapping. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. So I just want to say to all the nurturers out there, whether you nurture humans or other kinds of creatures or both, have a very happy Mother's Day. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks everyone for coming. It was so good to see you guys.